Welcome to Stage 33 Live, a 40-seat nonprofit volunteer-run industrial rustic listening room in Bellows Falls, Vermont, population 2,747. These performances were documented in our room, one and done and warts and all, by local, regional, and national talents. The barely contained theme for this episode is Breaking the Law, and it features Grant Peoples with Mark Russell, Aaron Ash Sullivan, Rupert Waits, The Fairlanes, The Breakmaids, Carol-Ann Solabello, Sam Cray, Oh Dad, Trevor Robinson, Lake Superior, Gillis Mills, Jessica Rabbit Syndrome, Nick Badaraco, and the Milk House Heaters. Stage 33 Live and this program exists thanks to your donations and the excellent volunteers that make it happen, and with help from businesses and institutions like the Vermont Arts Council, working for a creative state.
It was the morning after the coup, and she drank coffee on the sidewalk, and you could see in her face she hadn't slept for days. She smoked one run out of the other, as if to soothe the revolution. Now that all the chains were broken, on earth as it were in heaven, she reflected on the struggle and the sacrifice of angels, and the blood left on the pages, drafted by the hooded lawyers. That's when she felt the pang of hunger for a world she could not order. And though empowered by the moment, there was nothing left to do. It was the morning after the coup. The warrior in her whisper, how she'd be foolish to surrender. Well, she was armed but sentimental, and there were questions that remained, to which the goddess sent her answer in a voice so calm and gentle that there was little left to lose now, and really nothing more to gain. And though the barricades had lifted and the streets were cleared of rubble, the captured flag was missing and things were far from normal. The sanctuaries of tradition were occupied by new convictions. She was in a hostage situation and forced to change her point of view. It was the morning after the coup, and there's a grave in mythic sorrow. It's shooting through her like a spear. She lifts her hands and holds them to her heart, and she feels it beat beneath her armor. It's like the flutter of a bird, a little engine of regret that stops and starts. She lays the tip down on the table, walks across the street and buys a paper. But the headlines, they're still empty. It's just the same old propaganda. And then somewhere off in the distance, she hears a siren go to wailing. That's when her tears just start falling. 'cause there is nothing left to prove. It's the morning after the coup. It was the morning after the coup.
One time I stole a book, I'll tell you why. It happened on a warm day in July. I was working one more summer in my tiny college town. The heat curled up my posters and the quiet pulled me down. They said the world would be my oyster when they gave me my degree. I disagreed, didn't know what I'd need. Meanwhile, in the same town round the bend, another arrow wound down to its end. A couple sealed the final boxes going to Goodwill. The rest of their possessions moving with them down the hill. He said, my steps have grown unsteady and your memory's breaking free. She disagreed. She didn't know what she'd need. Nah, how do you know if it's an ending or a spark? Oh, give us grace to know the signposts and the marks. Pete and Dottie met before the war. Together they dreamed big and wanted more. Their home became a shrine to all the wonders they would see. And fertile ground for dreamers and for grandkids, that was me. I said to them, you must have known that you were meant to be. They disagreed. Hadn't known what they'd need. Now, how do you know if it's an ending or a spark? Oh, give us grace to know the signposts and the marks. So that day when I felt sorry for myself, I found a thrift shop and my eye fell on an old blue book upon the shelf. I opened up the cover and in writing small and neat, it said December 1940, from your Dottie to my Pete. And though the $2 on the flyleaf was a reasonable fee, I disagreed. For once I knew what I'd need. Now, how do you know if it's an ending signposts and the marks. The signposts and the marks. One time I stole a book, I'll tell you why.
He was a gunslinger long past his prime. His temper was fierce, it turned on a dime. But he could shoot as the eagle can fly, and she fell in love with his pale blue eyes. Some called her a lady, some called her a tramp. She left a good home to follow the camp. The life of an outlaw was all that she knew when she fell in love with his pale eyes of blue. In a room at the back of the Last Chance Saloon, with a rag soaked in whiskey, she dresses his wounds, tenderly cleaning his blood from her hands. She tells him she'd do it for no other man. Each day the lawmen were tightening their net, chasing his shadow and dogging his steps. Gunned down in a shootout or molding in jail, he knew what was coming at the end of the trail. As she awakes in the dark, hearing a sound at the door. It's found them at last, death at the hands of the law. But it's only a dream, only a trick of the night. They'll soon spread their wings, and like two condors in flight, be gone in the morning light. They take a train, then a boat, then a train. South of the border they carried their flame. Far from the lawman they'll make a new life. Far from the lawman he made her his wife. He robs the payroll and sometimes the banks. She holds their horses and covers their flanks. In old San Vicente they made their last stand. They found them lying there still holding hands. Some say they saw them in Paris last fall, and in Monte Carlo they were dressed for the ball. He shooting straight as the eagle can fly, she still in love with eyes blue as the sky. Sundance and Etta, true love never dies.
These are performances documented at Stage 33 Live in Bellows Falls, Vermont. This episode features clips that are directly or tangentially or not really particularly about breaking the law. Grant Peoples kicked it off with Mark Russell doing The Morning After the Coup. Aaron Ash Sullivan played One Time I Stole a Book, then Sundance and Etta by Rupert Waits.
Every single day the sun gets hotter. Hide away your sons and daughters. Everybody see the rising water. Fly away to avoid the slaughter. the devil won't make a deal. Torn apart to a million pieces. Broken hearts keep on beating. Everybody see the rising water. Try to save you from the slaughter. It's feeling okay to steal when the devil won't make a deal. It's feeling okay to steal when the devil won't make a deal. Feeling okay to steal, light it up, burn it down. Feeling okay to steal, let your head up off the ground. Feeling okay to steal, light it up, burn it down. Feeling okay to steal, let your head up off the ground. Feeling okay to steal. Feeling okay to steal. Feeling okay to steal. Feeling okay to
Get your gun, I'll get my purse. Let's get out of this town before it gets any worse. There's a man over there looking at my face like he's seen it somewhere. Let's have this one more round of drinks. Then we'll quit this town, what do you think? I made mistakes, I like to make it. I made mistakes, but I like to make it. Heading down the highway, smoking rolling trees, passing on the inside, blowing through toll seas. Got the money, I got the time. He got his shirt off and he's taking all mine. Let's have this one more round of drinks. Then we'll quit this town, what do you think? I made mistakes, but I like to make it. I made mistakes, but I like to make it. I made mistakes, but I like to make it.
That was the Breakmates doing Get Your Gun, and before that, the Fairlanes with Okay to Steal. All performances were captured at Stage 33 Live in Bellows Falls, Vermont. More Scofflaw songs coming up. Stage 33 Live and this program exists thanks to your donations and the excellent volunteers that make it happen, and with help from businesses and institutions like Oakley Press, publisher of the book 18 Minutes, A Daughter's Primer on Life and Death by Susan McNeil. Welcome back to the Stage 33 Live listening room in Bellows Falls, Vermont. This episode features performances more or less about breaking the law.
I don't like rules or regulations or conversations in the company of fools. I don't like demands or marching orders or rigid borders drawn by someone else's hands. I like the open sky and the summer breeze. I like to feel the earth beneath my hands and knees. I like welcome mats, swinging doors. I like the way my heart feels next to yours. I don't like boxes or small containers made by explainers who speak in paradoxes. I don't like restrictions on my five senses or building fences around petty jurisdictions. I like an open mind and the autumn breeze. I like to hear the crickets singing in the trees. I like ceiling fans and wooden floors, and I like the way my heart feels next to yours. I just like the way my heart feels next to yours. I like it, no apology. Blame it on biology. Like the open sky and the northern wind. I like to feel the bracing air ripple on my skin. I like your open arms and your open doors. I like the way my heart feels next to yours. I just like the way my heart feels next to yours. I like the way my heart feels.
They had backed him in a corner, then they set him up to fall. Tried to talk him out of everything, then wouldn't talk to him at all. He had run to Minnesota as far as he ran, when a man with a badge walked up and said, "You look a wanted man, wanted man, wanted man, wanted man." He crawled a night in Cincinnati, spent the next day in a bar. He couldn't see her in that corner. Could never see that far. Ah, but he knew that she knew that he was a wanted man. Wanted man. Wanted man. Wanted man. Tell me about it. He slipped on into Memphis, howled the blues for a night. She was leaning on his town car, pulled her stocking way up tight. He acted glad to see her, but in his heart he ran. When there's a bullseye on your head, you know you are a wanted man. Wanted man. Wanted man. Wanted man. He figured west with all those people. He'd be hiding in the sun. But back behind her Ray-Bans, the hunt had just begun. And all he wanted was the hope that wanting dies. Wanted man. Wanted man. And all he wanted was the hope that wanting dies. Wanted man. Wanted man. Wanted man. Wanted man.
This set kicked off with Carol Ann Solobello singing her song Rules, then Sam Cray doing Wanted Man.
Thank you very much. It's great to be here. Thank
Here
you for
comes
having
Oh
me.
Dad.
But that you didn't think you'd see me standing here, counting off the time, signature that pierce your ears. Are you changing ways that don't appear? So I'll shoot a grin and say goodbye, my dear.
nothing is good and everyone sucks so bad. Thank you. Someone pass me that giant water bottle right there. That'd be amazing. Thank you.
You were gonna rob that bakery in Western Massachusetts. It seemed like a pretty good idea to you at the time. You were desperate, and the bread euphemism was tantalizingly obvious. You were gonna rob that bakery in Western Massachusetts. You were gonna rob that bakery in Western Massachusetts. The woman you were dating worked the closing shift and had a key. She didn't really mean that much to you, and you'd have been long gone by the time she figured that out. You're gonna rob that bakery in Western Massachusetts. You were gonna rob that bakery in Western Massachusetts. The take would have been a couple $100 and some stale brioche. But it turns out bakers wake up a lot earlier than you do. You're gonna rob that bakery in Western Massachusetts. It seems your plans are always falling apart. Despite the sincerest of intentions, they're fatally wounded from the start. When you saw the silhouette in the window, the way her hands caressed the sourdough, you knew you couldn't live this way anymore. As a ray of morning light animated several thousand airborne flower particles, you figured it was time to seek treatment at the local psychiatric hospital, somewhere safe for somebody at the end of their rope. You're gonna rob that bakery in Western Massachusetts to finance another afternoon of shooting dope. But you just couldn't do it. You're gonna rob that bakery in Western Massachusetts. Thanks, y'all. This was lovely. Last Friday round midnight at a half, somebody said something they shouldn't have, so it's cussing and fists, goes off the tracks. You stabbed him with a buck knife you got from your dad. Now it's panic and cell phones, sirens and blue lights, short firm directions, reading Miranda rights. You let out a long, slow breath. Those cold steel circles slide on your wrists, and the sinky warm blood lingers on your lips. You ask the cop out on a date, say you me here right now, doesn't it feel like fate? And she said no, mostly you're just disorderly, and you knew it was true, but also that you were lonely, and you let out the long, slow breath. John Wayne never relieved your pain, and maybe Clint Eastwood would help you if he could, but he can't, because this isn't the movies, and you're not a cowboy, you're just a regular guy, and you know it, so you let out a long, slow breath.
Rounded out that set with Oh Dad doing A Daydream That I Had, then a two-pack of Trevor Robinson, A Blessed Lack of Follow-Through, and dedicated to the woman formerly known as Officer Tiger Fox. Here's the final set of this episode of Stage 33 Live, featuring performances that this time are entirely or sort of or not really so much about breaking the law.
Down in that dead cat alley where angel don't dare. Doodle say, Spider, what we're doing down here? What we're doing down here? What we're doing down here? I say, come on now, doodles. We living life on the edge. Doodle say, Spider, we're gonna soon be dead. We're gonna soon be dead. We're gonna soon be dead. Say I just don't get it. Since when do you care? Doodle say, Spider, you too dumb to be scared. This little Earl with his pistol and that dead tooth grin. Doodle say, Spider, worst place I've ever been. Worst place I've ever been. That's it. Mark, thanks very much. And Evan, thank you too.
That was Arkansas Sheriff by Lake Superior and Dumb by Gillis Mills. Here's Jessica Rabbit Syndrome's Ode to Thelma and Louise.
Running through the desert underneath the stars. Thelma and Louise, you're gonna go far. The T-bird wheels are screeching, leaving burn marks in the black tar. Exploding 18-wheelers and robbing men for fun. Staring from behind the barrel of a loaded gun. On the way to Mexico, racing the sun. And they fly.
There's a killer on the loose again. And he's always busy taking his name. See them every day walking around. Real life zombies, kings without their crowns. What is worse, walking that way? Sitting behind bars, waiting for the day. 'Cause once he's got you trapped in his mind, there's no getting out, it's hard to find. There's a killer on the loose again. He's always busy taking his name. Where it comes from, the question remains. Is it our government or coming in on planes? Coming to our state, running for the man. Trying to get my vote, saying they understand. Now they're gone, buried deep inside. Where's the courage to stand and fight? There's a killer on the loose again. He's always busy taking his names.
I was stopped by a sailor on a 3-day leave. He was walking downtown on New Year's Eve, looking for a good cup of joe, a little bit of weed, and maybe some blow. I said, I'm sorry, man, I just don't know. That's a part of my past where I just don't go, and I ain't going back that way. No, I ain't going back there anymore anyway. And as I turned away and walked through the crowd, I saw what prejudice prevented and privilege allowed. I saw an innocent man beaten, thrown to the ground, handcuffed and arrested for being too loud. And I said, hey man, that just ain't right. And then things went black and I woke up at midnight. My head was throbbing in a hospital bed. My mom was sobbing through the words that she said. She said, I thought I lost another son. And I hate these cops, wars, drugs, and guns. We came in for the dream, but this is a nightmare. Then she looked at me with pleading eyes and said, you gotta promise me, boy, next time you see trouble, you'll turn and walk the other way. When you see injustice, you won't make it your business. You turn and go the other way. I said, you know me better than that. I can't just walk away like that. If I see something and there's something to say, I've got to live with myself at the end of the day. Then the story on the news was of a sailor they found. His wallet was missing, he was face down in the ground. They say that he wandered in the wrong part of town, over on Vice Road.
Jessica Rabbit Syndrome played Thelma and Louise. Nick Badaracco did one called There's a Killer on the Loose Again, and the Milk House Heaters closed it down with Vice Row. This program was produced by Stage 33 Live in Bellows Falls, Vermont. Stage 33 Live exists thanks to volunteers and small donations, and also with extra help this broadcast season from The Island Corporation, a creative mix of art and enterprise. The Vermont Arts Council, working for a creative state. Guilford Sound, a state-of-the-art residential recording studio in Guilford, Vermont. The Rockingham Arts and Museum Project, revitalizing the community with the arts. Chroma Technology, precision-engineered optical filters for life science instrumentation and biophotonics. And WOOL-FM, community radio for the southern Vermont and New Hampshire borderlands. Stage 33 Live is a 501c3 nonprofit. All donations are deductible to the extent allowed. For more information about everything, see our Uncomfortably Dense website at stage33live.com. See you next time. Until then, support local music. Go see a show by an act you've never heard of.